I said in the intro to this series that the player that, in my estimation, was the best player in the league was the highest scoring member of the all defense team. And that player in 1969 was John Havlicek. I was mistaken, just slipped my mind. It was actually Jerry West. Jerry West made the initial all defense team, as well as John Havlicek, and Jerry West scored more. He actually scored 25 points per game. So by my own criteria, Jerry West should be my selection for the best player in the league, and he may well have been. Jerry West famously won the first Finals MVP in 1969, and famously did it from as a member of the losing team, the only player with that distinction. And when I look back at that Finals, I have to conclude that it certainly seems upon initial glance that there's not much Jerry West could have done. He had a tremendous series, 37 points a game, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. There's just not much, and I actually went back and watched there's not much footage available for the 1969 Finals. The only footage that I could find was of the final quarter of Game 7. And in that quarter, you see a Laker team so unbelievably dependent on Jerry West. It was pretty much pathetic how Jerry West was being double teamed all over the court, and no one else could really put together a consistent shot. They got some shots here and there. After Wilt went out, the backup center Mel Counts hit a big shot. But just not much there. He really put that team on his back. And so you may ask yourself, well, why do you think Jerry West wasn't the best player in the league that year? Why not make an exception to your general rule that the best player in the league has to win a chip, has to get over the hump? What else could he have done? This is essentially the LeBron argument. And that point probably has about as much validity in this instance as in any other instance in NBA history. But I will say this. The question of why something happens is an open-ended question. There are multiple reasons to explain why the Lakers lost the 1969 Finals when they were favored. I watched a video that blamed the coach. The coach famously refused to put Wilt Chamberlain back in the series. I could point to the 42 missed free throws that Wilt Chamberlain contributed. When the Lakers actually outscored the Celtics during the series. They lost Game 7 by 2 points. So if Wilt Chamberlain just makes a couple of free throws during Game 7, it's a different outcome. I could point to Elgin Baylor, the Lakers' second best player that year, and arguably the second best player of the 60s, scoring 6 points below his season average during that series. I could point to that. Both of those would hold Jerry West uh, basically innocent in the determination of whose fault, if you will. But my theory is the best player in the league's job is to figure out how to win the chip. So very strong deference has to be given to players that have done it at least once. Okay? You see, I could blame Wilt Chamberlain and I could blame Elgin Baylor, but there is one other thing that the Lakers starting point guard could have done to help his team win that championship. And that is to stop Sam Jones, who was 30 some odd years old and playing his final game in his final series, from scoring above his season average in both points and field goal percentage. If he just keeps Sam Jones, if Jerry West just simply keeps Sam Jones from scoring 2 fewer points in Game 7, it's a different outcome. And so, as unfair as it is, I have to give deference to great players that do figure it out. Okay? And I can't give you the benefit of the doubt of being the best player in the league until you get over the hump. Because you know who did figure it out? John Havlicek. John Havlicek was the reason, likely the reason, Elgin Baylor had a bad series. Okay? And John Havlicek did not have a bad series. 28 points a game and 11 rebounds. Shot .457 from the field. So when I look at the two players, I have to give deference to the player that won the chip that year. Like I said in the intro to this video, the MVP of the league, that's pretty much irrelevant to me. I don't really count that. Like I said, Wes Unseld won the MVP, and I will lay out why I'm so unpersuaded by the MVP winner in a future video. It's really not that. Basically, unless the MVP winner is also great defensively, MVP winners aren't that impactful, you know, on a championship team. But I say all that to say that in 1969, John Havlicek was all defense. He won the chip and was the second leading scorer on that team. And John Havlicek that year was the league's best player. And he was in 1970 as well, as Hondo increased his scoring, maintained his status as an all-defense team member. So he was the best player in the league in 1970, even though Willis Reed won the MVP that year.